Hello, my dears. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday in my human life right now. I've been deep in meditation and channeling, and there was a view that came through. This is super duper quantum, so I'm going to do my best to put it into human words. So, in one of my past lives that I've recorded, it's in the blips, I want to say. So past life tale, and I use past lives for lack of better term. I'm just gonna, because I'm like half human and half in this channel. So the past life that this is connected to is when I was a brothel, like I worked at a brothel. And so I was in a healing, a sound bowl healing, I want to say about a month ago, and I got this image of two other versions of myself in that same past life. And that was about a month ago. And now in this meditation right now, I've been connecting to another version of me from that life. And so in my meditation, as I was going, I wasn't recording my meditation, but once I got to this point in my channeling with my guides, and I've been reconnecting to the Council of Nine. And so I know that it was such a triggering thing for me because I'd connected to the Council of Nine back in like 2021. And in that one channel, they had told me that I was basically they said, you're on the Council of Nine and you're the only one here. And so I took that as I was the only person, because this was back in 2021 and I was very new to channeling. And so I took that as I'm the only one that is like, it was very egoic, where I was like, this is my specific Council of Nine. And that is absolutely not true. The Council of Nine is available for everyone to check in with and to channel and to be a part of. It's been like millions and millions of years of evolution and of healing and things like that. So as I was checking in with this council, there's a lot to, I've spoken to how this is my last human life, and they've just been, in this meditation, they were just reminding me, like, you can still experience human things. And like that you've been doing all the things that you need to do, but that you can still experience human things. So, okay, so I'm butchering this, but I would like to just offer the channel that had come through. First, I'm gonna do the channel that had already come through for that sound bowl healing, so you can kind of have an idea of like the players and things like that. It's like I'm gonna show you the play, and then I'm gonna get to the point of, so it's a little off, of the channel that I was just in, and basically like they stopped the scene and were like, now you can record and share this with your community, because like not all of my meditations are for the community. Some of them are just for me, some of the channels are just for me, but this one apparently is for the group, so I'm very excited to share it. But that's why I look the way that I do right now. It's just because this is an at-home day, and in a very feminine space today, and feeling all the feelings, and it's just it's a privilege to be a female on this planet in March 2024. So I'm going to explain the scene. So I'll put the link below for the blips so you can get an idea. Basically, I was the oldest worker at this brothel, and I'll share the ending of that, but it's in the blips. It's in the past life tale, the blips, which there's a whole playlist for my past life tales that I've recorded. So basically, the scene that I'm gonna paint is there's this young boy, and this was me. It was interesting because I was every player in this past life, and I've never seen that before. So I was the oldest woman in the brothel, I was this young pickpocket boy, and then I was the only the phrase that comes through is prosperous woman. And it's like there's not really like a title or anything like that. Like I think of the movie Sleepy Hollow, the one with Johnny Depp, where they ask, the man at the beginning, like, and who are you? He goes, a simple farmer who has prospered. And so it's really just this version of myself was just a woman, like a wealthy woman who had prospered and was not wedded in any way. I don't know if she ever was or had, was a widow, or I don't know, but there's more to that, so I'll leave that there. So the scene that I saw was this little boy who was pickpocketing. Oh my God, this is wild. It's the there's so many things that are happening. They're showing me that it's literally just the lifetime of the woman in the brothel, but the other person in this scene was not the brothel worker. This is another woman. So, okay, I'm butchering this. My apologies. So I'll just show you what I'm seeing and what I had seen before. So this little boy was pickpocketing. And so it's just like around those times, like I think of like oh my God, what is that movie? A Little Princess, where during like that times, like big petticoats and like just cobblestones and stuff like that. And that's really all I can see. I don't have like a time bracket or anything like that, or a country or anything. So there's this little boy who's pickpocketing, and it's me. It's a version of me, a past life of me. And the reason that he's pickpocketing is because there is an older woman who is very, very large, very, very obese, but also handicapped. She doesn't have access to her legs. She can't walk, and she is homeless and just lives like in a dumpster, outside of a dumpster, like on the end of an alleyway. She just lives there. And so I thought that woman, all of these versions are me, which it's very strange. It's interesting. I don't really have the full view as to why that happens. It's my guides are saying because all of the yous are coming together. All of the yous are coming together. So that's awesome. So basically the little boy is pickpocketing so he can bring food and different things to this woman who is completely handicapped, but also very obese, which is interesting. I don't understand that. And I don't understand that. But it is the way that it is. And they're like turning back the dial of time so I can see it. She was newly handicapped. And oh boy, I'm just seeing this now. My apologies, everyone, for being slow to this. So they're showing me her as like an aristocratic woman, not with like a title or a name, but like known, but was like extremely gluttonous, and basically like fell. There's really no pomp and circumstance to it, just fell and like became just handicapped from falling. She might have purposely slipped. She might have just been very, it's very like, woe is me, very dramatic. But she slipped and fell purposefully. I'm having a full body chill, and handicapped herself. Which is fascinating. There's definitely the circus performer Sarah past life is connected to that, and so that's fascinating. I had mirrors of that in this lifetime where I had like hurt myself and eventually had to have like arthroscopic knee surgery, but there's nothing really wrong with me. It's a long story, but many parallels where I just needed attention from my parents. I really just desperately needed attention, and that in my family line was the way when I was a child to get attention, was through medical attention, the only way. So that's fascinating. So she purposely hurt herself, and the whole family shunned her, and she lives outside a dumpster, very Chiron-esque, and she just cared about the kids, and as she processed her own stuff, she just listened to these little pickpocket kids, and one of them was me, but there was like a little like very Newsies type of a environment, and she just was like, yeah, this is I'm dealing with my own karma, for lack of a better term, and is just living by a dumpster and just dealing with it. So a little pickpocket is, taking money, bringing it to her, taking money, bringing it to her, taking food and bringing it to her, and trying his best to just bring her things. The prosperous woman, it's like the scene that I was given before, sees her. she sees, or pardon me, she sees the little boy pickpocketing, and she sees the little like rat-tat kids, and is in no way connected to the law, but is just kind of like curious, like, what's going on over there? What's going on over there? And she's very gifted. She knows how to protect herself. They're showing me a little bit of her backstory as well, where she prospered on purpose. Like, she built her own, she wasn't always prosperous. She built it from the ground up. It's interesting, it's like the exact opposite parallel of the woman who was like aristocratic and then purposely hurt herself and then is out there. This woman was maybe poor and maybe homeless and built herself up to prosper. But it was she created the life. She created that for herself. And if this is the first time that you're here on my channel, I definitely, like, my higher self shows me an image over here, and then usually it's a past life over here, but it's like baseline is 3 different universes. So whenever I'm like looking around all over the place, I'm just seeing different like views of lives that are going on. So that the prosperous woman that I'm watching the view over here, she just came, like her soul just like came to me over here and was giving images and messages over here. So it's very, I try my best to communicate it, but if you see me like staring off in the distance, I'm just like looking at other things. So she's saying she's one of the more evolved versions of myself and more closely related to this timeline and this parable, or this parallel, this line over here. And she's like, there are deeper messages. Okay. So she sees this little pickpocket, and she doesn't know that he's bringing to the woman. She knows that he's a good like kid, for lack of a better term, and they're not bad kids, but she's like, I want to kind of see what's going on here. So this was what I had seen in that sound bowl healing. So she kind of puts herself in a situation to be pickpocketed, and then like grabs his hand, like as he's going for like one of her like many pockets in her petticoat, she grabs his hand and she just goes, who are you helping? Like, show me what's going on here. Show me what's going on. And so the little boy brings the prosperous woman to the handicapped woman, and she knows her. She knows her. This is someone who's been very mean to her before. This is someone who has disrespected her before. Lifetime's over. This is interesting. I'm seeing parallels in different lifetimes and different human times. I've never seen that before. It's cool. So she says, let's do something about this. And so the prosperous woman gets a room at the inn, which is, during that time, brothels and inns were kind of like one and the same. It wasn't like, oh, you're going here. It was like, no, that's just the inn. That's just where you go. And so the prosperous woman like gave her like just a room and paid for the room, and just like gave her a space to, like, just said, take it, whatever is needed to just keep her safe. There was no like healing of her legs or body or anything like that. It was just, here's a place to sleep, so you're not by a dumpster, basically. And so that's interesting. And this is going to get a little morbid super duper quick. So if you just want to time out on that and just know that ahead of time, but so basically what happens is the obese woman, after a few days of being, and this is what I had seen in the channel before, the obese woman, after a few days of being in the very safe place, she like relaxes enough and her nervous system calms down enough that she just dies, and she just goes out very, very like peacefully in her sleep. And it's more so like she did everything that she needed to do, received what she needed to receive, and was just given like a very, very safe blanket, a safe space to just kind of chill and heal. It's funny, like the oldest woman in the brothel was like taking care of her and stuff like that, and she was just like super duper just disassociated. She's like, oh, another one bites the dust. And but in that, the past life, the blips, the brothel burns down, and she just kind of like perfect storms herself, basically. I live in Gloucester, so that's why I use that parallel. So definitely go check out the blips if you're interested in that. And I'm just not going to repeat that. The little boy, the pickpocket boy, the prosperous woman like doesn't save him. You know, he continues to do what he's doing. I think that like she's there if he needs anything. It's really like if anybody needs anything, she's always helpful. But I think, you know, maybe it's because she's a woman or something. I don't really know, but it's not, they don't go to her as often. People don't really ask her for help very often. She's different, and it's very, they're saying like not in a feminist type of a way, but it was intimidating for people, for men at the time, because she was not as courtable because she came from something so low and had prospered in her own way that she didn't have a title. She wasn't like, so the men of her caliber were already like all married off, and she didn't like fit the mold, I guess. And so she really enjoyed life. Like there was a view that I saw of her just like in her home where she's playing chess with herself. Like she would play the white and then turn around and play the black and then turn around and play the white and turn around and play the black. And she wasn't really wanting. She's like, I just created the safety bucket that I needed. I just did what I needed to do in this lifetime. So I'm doing okay. Oh God, this is gonna hit. This is gonna hit. So, not this, but what they're showing me right now, which is fascinating. So the little boy, basically, it was a very specific fruit. So he ate an apple, and apparently was allergic to apples. He ate an apple and he died. And it wasn't a rotten apple. It wasn't anything specific, but it was just interesting that I just remember it being an apple. And he didn't steal it. He like was purchasing it with his own money. It was like on the up and up, and he just had a reaction and he died. He didn't choke on it. He just wasn't. It wasn't the food for him to be eating. But it's just, there's so many. I'm going to look into the spiritual meaning of apples because I'm fascinated by the fact that it was just an apple that he ate and he died. And so. So there's the reasoning behind this, and I hope you can hear me, was in my meditation. There's, the man that I, in this lifetime, have not physically met, but that I'm like googly-eyed for already. It's like, I know his soul, he knows my soul, and I don't rush God in any capacity. And it's when he sees me, he'll come right up to me. I'm not concerned about that. Oh my God. Okay. So basically what had happened is I was in my meditation. Now I'm back to today, my meditation. And I had seen this view, and I saw this woman like walking through town, like just going to the market basically. And she locked eyes with a man who's, they're saying like a merchant. And we lock eyes, and it's like, it's each other, and we know it, and we just know it, and we just know it. And it's odd because it's like, we know that it's each other. I've never seen this before, but we can't be together in that lifetime. Yeah, sorry, everything in the house just clicked when I said that. We knew we couldn't be together in that lifetime. And it's like, neither of us, she's like, neither of you did anything wrong. You just knew. You just knew. And he knew that he couldn't court me. He knew that in the lifetime, like, he was older than me and very evolved. And it was like he in that lifetime knew how evolved he was, but he chose not to to apply it in his life. He was like, just like went into the family business, went into the merchant business and just did the things. But he felt very much like, It's odd. He's like, my guides are just saying, like, he felt very much how Libra might feel right now in March of 2024. Like more prosperous than everyone, smarter than everyone, but he chose not to physically prosper. He chose, and it's something that definitely a lot of spiritual people get caught up in, saying, like, I don't need anything. I can be, you know, poor, and I can be, you know, penniless, and I don't need possessions. But it's actually a part of being human is to prosper and to be in this matrix in a very comfortable and classy and classic and, you know, bougie, to use the 2024 word, type of a way. And so she's saying, like, you were both equally evolved, but when you locked eyes, there was this deep knowing, and you saw all of the other lifetimes. Like, you had this awakening together. You had this moment of understanding together that was so profound. And she's like, you two saw this lifetime. You saw all of the different lifetimes that you get to be together. You saw the two that I see right now. And it's very much, he felt this, like, I'm just seeing like a puppy with his tail between his legs. He's like, it was almost like he was embarrassed, but he did everything he knew he needed to do in that lifetime. He knew that we weren't meant to be together in that lifetime. And so we would just spend time locking eyes together. Like, we would just I would come down to the market, I would come down to town. We didn't really talk very much. We just, like, loved each other from afar and would just lock eyes. I've never seen this before. And it's just so, like, I blush sometimes thinking about this person I've never met. And it's so powerful. Like, if you know, as a spiritual being, or, you know, as a leader, when things are right, it just hits, and it just is. And this one, like, all I've ever really seen in my mind's eye is his eyes. And it's so true. People have asked me, I was even having coffee with a friend this morning, where I was like, no, I've just known my whole life. I'm not doing dating apps. I'm not doing any of these things. It's just, he will not in any way, he'll be like, that's her. He'll walk right up to me and he'll say hello, and it'll just unlock it all. And so seeing these types of moments in past lives is very rare. It's very rare. And it's very, yeah, even I'm just like blushing a little. It's really sweet. Yeah, he had a family and did what he needed to do in that lifetime. There was no, like, we would just literally smile at each other and have, like, full telepathic, you know, conversations. And it would be just like, he would send me the color green, and then I'd send him yellow, and all different things. But in that lifetime, I just died an old woman and enjoyed my days and was available if anyone needed me. Yeah. So that's a little, I don't even know what to call that, quantum past life tale view of, you know, all the different me's. And it's very, I'd never seen a life like that where it was all different versions of me. And like I'd said, like, the kiddos were not me's, and, you know, the other people that worked at the brothel were not me, and this man was definitely not me. But it's bringing all of these pieces of myself back together again. It's a pleasure and a privilege to channel and to be a channel and to connect in such incredibly profound and beautiful ways. So thank you for being here. I love you. I'll see you again soon.